Hello, I'm Andrew Hancock and I'm a photographer. If you're an experienced photographer, this channel is probably not going to be for you, but welcome anyway, and please stick around if you wish to. I'm really speaking to those who are either just at the very beginning of their photography experience or have got a little bit of experience but are a little bit stumped with anything and everything to do with photography. I'm going to be doing some reviews of gear that I'm going to purchase myself and hopefully help educate and guide you through the minefield that is photography. Now, I am not going to review the latest and greatest gear that costs thousands of pounds because, quite simply, I don't have it, and I think a lot of new photographers do not want to be spending that sort of money because it's astronomical. You know, you can buy a camera for over four figures. Why? Truly, the best thing for a photographer is their eyes. That's really what captures the image. You could have the best and latest camera gear in the world, but if you're crap at taking a picture, it's going to look crap. Now, I am going to explore camera gear mainly used because I like the sustainability side of it, but I'm going to set myself a challenge with this, and I'm going to buy and review camera gear for less than £100. Now, some of that will be camera and lenses for under £100, but I think the majority of it I will be, especially when it comes to cameras themselves and lenses, £100 is the limit, and I'll give you my honest opinion of them. Why am I doing this? Well, let me explain. I first bought a digital camera used back in 2011 and I loved it. Was it the greatest and best thing at the time? No, it wasn't. It was a 5-year-old camera, I think possibly even 6-year-old camera at the time, and it was this. It's a Pentax K100D with a 28 to 80mm f-series lens. The lens itself is actually older than the camera because that's what Pentax made towards the end of the film era, but it's an autofocusing lens. Some say it's ugly. It's neither here nor there to me. It's noisy. Absolutely, it's noisy. I mean, it's not the fastest focusing thing in the world, but I love it. Why do I love it? Because it was my first camera. It's like your first love. You never forget. It's a 6 megapixel CCD sensor. They don't even do CCD sensors anymore because technology's moved on. But I love it because the pure colours that come out of it are fantastic. Is what I mean. You may agree, you may not. Hopefully you do. But when I bought this camera and that lens, I also bought it with this lens as well at the same time. It's a Tamron 70 to 300mm. Now, if you were looking to buy the newest versions of all this stuff now, you wouldn't get much change out of £1,500 to £1,800. When I bought these, in total I paid £145. Okay, that was back in 2011, but obviously times have moved on then. Now, I'm not saying to rush out and go and get another one of these. That's because they seem to be going up in value, and I don't think they're worth what you're paying for them. No. So the first one I'm going to do a proper review of for you is this. And this is it. It's the K10D. It's its bigger brother. Now, this was released, I think, about 6 months after the K100, and it has a lot of the same gubbins inside it. The sensor has been upgraded to a 10 megapixel CCD sensor. This also now benefits from weather sealing. It also has a sensor protection system, so it will keep dust off the sensor. So when you turn it on, there you go, eventually decides to work. You can hear that clinking sound. That's the camera shaking the sensor to get any dust off it. It also benefits from in-body stabilisation, which at the time, along with the weather sealing, no one else was really doing. Not in this sort of size camera. Now, this was their sort of a flagship for a while. It was very quickly replaced by the K20D, I think it was about 9 months later, but then that one switched over to a CMOS sensor, which replaced the CCD sensor. But I'm not going to talk about that one now. I'll talk about that one another time, possibly. Now, I'm going to start with the major downsides to these older cameras. The light sensitivity is nowhere near as good as what you can get now. Also, especially this one, it only shoots 3 frames per second. So if you're after sports photography, then I'll try and find something more suitable for you. But in the meantime, you have to put up with this one. It is a lovely camera. I love it to bits. It's the colours come out of it are fantastic. It's got good dynamic range, and if you're the sort of person that shoots mainly in light conditions, then the low light issue is not going to be one for you. I'm going to go around the garden now and shoot some pictures and show you what I mean about what you can get out of it. I will put the 28 to 80mm lens back on it because I don't want to put any big flash lenses on it. I really want to stress to you and show you what you can get for £100. Let's go. So there you go. That's what I've just shot with this camera. All of those are shot in JPEG straight out the camera. If you are interested in this camera, then where can you get it from? Well, in my experience, I would advise against using places like online auction sites or other shops that buy and sell kits that aren't specifically for photography shops. And the reason I say that is certainly with the online ones, or even some marketplaces online, I'm trying desperately not to mention any names there because I don't want to get into any trouble legally. With those, you are left a bit vulnerable. If the seller, I'm going to be blunt, is dishonest, or what you get is not what was advertised, in my experience it can be very difficult to get any positive action from it. I would always recommend going to a proper camera shop. If you don't have one local, then use the internet to search for one. My favourite bricks and mortar one is the London Camera Exchange. I've been to a few of their branches throughout the UK and have found them all to offer high levels of standard of knowledge and products, and their customer care I've found personally to be second to none, so I would recommend them. There are some online ones. You have Wex. They do have shops in the UK, but I don't think they have very many, but they are very good to order from, and their website is very, very good to navigate, and it does give a reasonable amount of detail with pictures of what you're buying. The best purely online one is MPB. I will drop links below for all of these, so feel free to go and have a look at them all. Like I say, they are ones that I would recommend you go and use, or certainly have an explore of. There may be others that I haven't gone around to exploring yet, so if you are aware of any more in the UK, then please drop us a comment in below so I can go and have a look around and see what we've got. But just to recap, is this camera worth getting? Well, that purely is down to what you want to do. As I said earlier, if it's sports photography you're after, then this isn't the one for you at only 3 frames per second. Portrait photography, again, maybe not, but then that does kind of depend on the lens that you put on the front of it as well. Some lenses will be faster to focus than others. This one isn't a very fast one, but it's just one that I've got a sentimental attachment to, so that's why I've got it. So yeah, you can do portrait photography, but like I say, you've got to get some good quality glass on it. That's a subject we'll tackle in another video. Yes, I would get it, purely because you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for under £100. Like I say, it's got weather sealing, it's got in-body stabilisation, it's got the 10 megapixels, which if you're posting on social media is more than enough because of the cropping and algorithms that they all use on it. You probably will not notice the difference between a photo taken off your camera phone or one of these. So yeah, price wise, no more than £95, and you probably want to be getting a lens for that as well, unless it is in absolute immaculate condition, boxed and all the rest of that. Yeah, no more than £95. Bottom end, I wouldn't be looking at anything that's, certainly this is shop prices I'm talking about, not online other places. Yeah, don't look at anything under £60-65 because they're probably going to be a bit trashed. So in conclusion, I would recommend that camera as long as it's the right price. Okay, that's it from me for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and follow and click the subscribe button so you'll be updated with any more videos that come out. I will drop the links below of the camera shops I have mentioned earlier. But please remember, it doesn't matter how expensive your camera is. This little piece of knowledge I love, this little quote I love. The best camera you have is